Tonight, you will do something no other animal on Earth does. You'll take your food and set it on fire. Not by accident, on purpose, every single day. A chimp eats its fruit raw. A lion eats its meat raw. A bird, a fish, a bear, all raw, always. You are the only animal that refuses to. You cook, and you can't really stop. Eat only raw food for a month, and your body starts to fail. So why are you the one species that has to cook? Most people think cooking is just about taste. We cook because it's nicer, a luxury, a choice. But that answer is completely wrong. Cooking isn't a hobby your species picked up. It might be the reason your species exists at all. To see why, look at your closest living relative, a chimpanzee. You share almost all of your DNA. But there's one thing it does that you could never survive. It spends half its waking life chewing. Raw food has a hidden cost. It's incredibly hard to digest. A great ape must chew for around 6 hours every single day. 6 hours. Just to get enough energy to live. Raw leaves, raw stems, tough raw meat. Your jaw could never do that. Look in a mirror. Your teeth are tiny, your jaw is weak, your mouth is small, almost useless for raw survival. A chimp's jaw could crush what yours can't even bite. By every rule of nature, you are badly built for eating. An animal with your mouth should have gone extinct. So how do you survive on barely an hour of eating a day? Because you don't digest your food with your body. You digest it before it ever reaches your mouth. With fire. Cooking breaks food down outside of you. Heat does the work your weak jaw and gut cannot. Fire became a stomach that lives outside your body. And this changes everything about the food itself. Raw food hides most of its energy from you. Your body can only absorb a fraction of it. But heat unlocks it. Cooking bursts open starch and makes it digestible. It unravels protein so your gut can actually use it. The same potato, cooked, gives you far more energy than raw. The same egg, the same meat. Cooked, you absorb much more. You're not just softening food, you're pre-digesting it. We even tested this on modern people. In Germany, scientists studied long-term raw food eaters, people who ate almost nothing cooked, ever. Healthy in spirit, but their bodies were starving. Many lost dangerous amounts of weight. A large share of the women stopped menstruating entirely. Their bodies decided they didn't have enough energy to reproduce. On raw food, with unlimited amounts of it. That is how much energy cooking quietly hands you. Energy your ancestors suddenly had and didn't know what to do with. Except their bodies knew exactly where to spend it. Here is the part that should give you chills. Your brain is an energy monster. It's about 2% of your body weight, but it burns around 20% of your energy. Just sitting there, thinking, it devours fuel. A brain like yours is almost impossible to afford. No animal eating raw food could ever pay for it. There aren't enough hours in the day to chew that much. So how did your ancestors grow one anyway? In 1995, 2 scientists found the answer, Leslie Aiello and Peter Wheeler. They called it a trade, the expensive tissue hypothesis. To grow a bigger brain, something else had to shrink, and what shrank was the gut, the intestines. A huge raw food gut is also enormously expensive. But cooked food is so easy to digest, you don't need one. So the gut got smaller. And that freed up energy. Energy that flowed instead into the brain. Cooking didn't just feed you, it paid for your mind. The fire on your stove is why you can understand this sentence. So when did this bargain actually begin? Around 1.9 million years ago, something strange appears. A new human ancestor, Homo erectus. And its body breaks all the old rules. Smaller teeth, smaller jaws, a smaller gut, but a dramatically bigger brain. Exactly the body you'd expect from an animal that cooks. As if something started doing its chewing for it. We found ancient fireplaces too. In Wonderwork Cave, traces of fire 1 million years old. Burned bone, ash, deep inside where no wildfire reaches. A Harvard scientist named Richard Wrangham tied it together. In his book, Catching Fire. His claim is bold. Cooking is what made us human. Not tools, not language. Fire, first. Everything you are was lit from a single flame. But that flame asked for something in return. Here's what no one tells you about taming fire. You think you captured it. You think you're in control. But look at what the deal actually did to you. Your teeth shrank until raw food became a struggle. Your gut shrank until you could no longer process it. Your whole body rebuilt itself around cooked meals. And once that happened, there was no going back. Picture one of your ancestors 1 million years ago, sitting at the very first controlled fire, in the dark. Meat hissing over the flames. The night held back. That ancestor felt like the master of fire, but evolution was quietly rewriting their descendants, weaker, softer, more dependent with every generation, until a creature was born that could not survive raw. That creature is you. You are not the animal that tamed fire. You are the animal that fire tamed. A chimp can walk away from cooking. You cannot. You are biologically bound to the flame, the only animal that outsourced its own digestion forever, and it reaches further than your body. Fire didn't just shrink your gut, it rearranged your life. Cooking takes time, and it happens in one place. So your ancestors gathered around the hearth. They waited together while food cooked. They sat in a circle in the firelight and they talked. The fireplace became the first home, the first kitchen, the first meeting place. Some think this is where deep human society was forged, sharing food no animal could eat alone, made by fire. Every dinner table you've sat at is a descendant of that flame. Every family meal, every shared plate. Fire pulled you together long before you had words for why. You think cooking is something you do, but cooking is the thing that did you. It shaped your face, your stomach, your mind, and your family. All of it traced back to one ancient choice to use the flame, a choice you can never unmake. So what does this actually mean for you? The most ordinary thing you do is the most extraordinary. Tonight, when you turn on the stove, look at the flame. You are not just making dinner. You are performing the act that built your species, the act that grew your brain, the act that shrank the body of an ape into a human, the act that gathered the first families in the dark. No other animal will ever do it. Not in 1,000 years. Not in 1,000,000. They will eat their food cold and raw as they always have. And you will keep lighting your fire as you always have. Because you were never really given a choice. The deal was struck 1,000,000 years before you were born. You inherited the fire and the hunger that only it can fill. So next time you cook something, remember what it really is. Not a chore, not a hobby. The oldest, deepest agreement your species ever made. You didn't learn to cook, you were built by it. You are the animal that cannot live without the flame.